Welcome to HumanityWins.net. Please read the important disclaimer on your screen. All of the content provided is for entertainment purposes only. It should not be taken as medical or legal advice. Please contact your doctor or lawyer if you require such advice. Thank you. The show starts right now. Hello, welcome to episode 119 from September the 30th of the year 2022. Today's a Friday, and today's episode is about CERN, which stands for European Council for Nuclear Research, but usually CERN is referred to the Proton Collider, the Photon Collider located in Switzerland. It's 27 kilometer in diameter, basically a circle that goes around. It's like a circuit. You want to think about it like a track for cars, something like that, but in this case, it's for particles. And when they do, they accelerate these particles almost to the speed of light, 300 kilometers per second. It's not, they don't reach the speed of light, they just, apparently they go to it very closely. And what they try to do is for these particles to collide and create, collisions between protons to see what comes out. So I'm going to say it to you because maybe you're not very interested in CERN or not very interested in my non-scientific opinion, because again, what's science? I don't know even anymore. I think this is a toy that they allow the evildoers, they allow humanity to have, just to play with these experiments, so scientists can say we're looking for subatomic particles, the God particle as they call it. And no, all the matter that the universe will ever need has already been created by that creator. We have a creator. His name is God, the source, you want to call it different names, but he's the creator of everything, okay? So he created all the matter that the universe is ever going to need, because the processes of God and the universe are perfect. Is the true perfection. So he created all the matter that the universe is ever going to need. So that's why this statement by Einstein that matter is not created or destroyed, only transformed, is accurate in my opinion. Okay, because matter, yes, cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. Even if you turn something into rubble, into smoke, you're still transforming it. It still exists, okay, as smoke or whatever. Hope it makes sense. So in this case, what CERN is trying to do is go against what the creator God is trying to do. And for me, that's the most important fact about CERN. It's truly something we shouldn't be messing around. We don't understand it. It's something similar to what nuclear energy or a nuclear reactor is, which is basically attempting nuclear fission, okay? Throwing basically protons one to each other, hoping there's a splitting of the proton, of the atoms, and that creates a huge amount of energy. Sure, artificial energy. That's why nuclear energy kills. That's why nuclear energy destroys not only humans, okay? Destroys every natural living being that is close to that radiation, okay? And that's why nuclear plants have to be contained. And if there's an accident, it's a whole mess, like the Chernobyl accident. And I made an episode on nuclear energy like 50 episodes ago. You might want to look into it. I got some good comments about that it was, I'd always try to do my layman terms explanation of things that I don't even understand, but I go with my feelings. And what I can tell you from CERN, it's creating a lot of bad energy, okay? It's the only thing. It's a bad toy, really, because it's not going to really serve humanity. It's not the way to go for energy production. Energy is abundant in the universe and it's freely available. It's like air on planet Earth, okay? It's like the air you breathe. It's like that. Energy is equal to that in the universe. So we don't need to accelerate particles and tend to make them collide one to each other to generate huge amounts of energy. That's not the way to go, okay? But apparently, I mean, they love these toys and these things. There's also that school of thought I don't necessarily connect to, that this is also to create portals to other dimensions, and that there might be something into that, but not to higher dimensions, okay? To lower dimensions, because we have dimensions above this one that are higher, that are better, and we have dimensions like this one that are lower, okay? And that's where what I call the carbon copy, the anti-universe. I hope it's starting to make sense if you have followed me for a while, which I talk a lot about the anti-universe where antimatter lives. It's just a lower dimension, a lower copy, a bad copy of the real dimensions you have right now. So if this machine is trying to access those realms, to access those who live there, which are confused beings, you want to call them demons. It's just a label, okay? You want to call them, bad beings. I just think we have good beings and confused beings. That's it. Everyone is good in the universe because everyone was created by God, and everyone is going to be an ascended master, the best version of themselves. It just takes time. Okay, so these beings in the lower dimensions are going to eventually come to higher dimensions, and they're going to eventually ascend. Okay, it's just a matter of trillions and trillions of years, maybe, but it's going to happen. So that's why I'm not worried at all. But to go and poke into the anti-universe, no. And it's similar to, probably gonna lose you here, or some of you that are very scientific, that CERN is very similar, like you vibrating on lower dimensions, for example, in hate, fear, envy, lust, all of that. You're going into those realms, okay? You're going into those lower dimensions, okay? You're poking into that. And when you're really into that, unfortunately, when you're really confused, when you're really rageful, when you're full of rage, when you're full of violence, when you're full of hate, when you're full of fear, that's where demons can create a portal to you. And if you allow it through your own free will, remember your spirit is firewall. So if you allow it through your own free will, then you might have what is called a demonic possession. Okay. So yes, if anything, a CERN is probably capable of creating portals to the anti-universe, to the lower realms. But I don't believe what they're trying is to artificially create portals to the higher dimensions, to the higher vibration levels. They're not going to achieve that. That's artificial. We achieve that naturally, okay? By vibrating in love, by understanding yourself, by forgiving yourself, and just by uncovering everything. You have all the vibrations in you, but they're going to be uncovered for you as you traverse the road in your existence, okay? It's a perfect, natural, organic system by God. I hope it makes sense. So let's watch a video. It's 1 minute. It's you have to read the screen because it's just music with the titles on the screen, so like text on the screen. So please look at the screen. It's in English. It explains in a nutshell the mainstream explanation of CERN, okay? After that, I'm going to give you some comments. We're going to watch another video that is a little bit longer and, goes into the technicalities of what CERN is doing, and then I'm going to give you my final thoughts. All right, let's watch the first video together. Okay, so you probably read at the end that CERN also paves the way for IT, and apparently he was the creator of the World Wide Web. I don't understand how they are related, but that's what they claim. Okay, so basically, the proton collider is, first of all, we have to understand there are proton, neutrons, and electrons in the universe. Okay, there are probably subparticles to that. I mean, what makes those basic three? But if we want to go on layman terms, that's a very accurate way to see it. And the thing is, we thrive. There's a reason we thrive. The universe thrives through electrons, okay, through a negative charge, through anions. And I've shared, if you want to go on the episode on anions and cations, I explained there how I think, for example, disease is just an imbalance of the body, that every technology that the evildoer, because we have to accept all technology right now available on Earth is allowed by the evildoers, okay? They're not going to have good technology, okay? So I find it strange that every technology is made to harm us through protons, through cations, through making you not have a negatively charged electric state, okay? They steal your electrons from you, basically, okay? That's it. They want to steal your electrons from you, and I think that is part of the energy harvesting they do. And that's why when you're vibrating in love, you're vibrating in a negative state, you are full of electrons. When you're, for example, by the sea, by a waterfall, by a rainforest, when you hug a tree, when you do something called grounding, it's basically connecting with Mother Earth, all of these things, they make you thrive, okay, in anions, in electrons in a negative state. But when you're vibrating here in fear, in envy, in hate, when you have rage, when you feel violence, all of that makes your electrons go away. You vibrate and embrace all this technology that is creating protons, okay? So the problem with protons is they have to balance out. It's just, it's just nature, okay? Protons have to balance out. So how do they balance out into a neutral state? They steal electrons from living beings, okay? So that's why if for example, you're in a nuclear reactor, there's a lot of, trillions of protons being generated there by the attempted destruction of matter by nuclear fission. So that's why employees of nuclear plants, let's forget about nuclear bombs for a second, okay? But let's just stick with the nuclear plants that we can agree they exist, okay? That's why employees have to have short shifts. That's why employees have to check themselves. They have a dosimeter. That's why, I mean, they can only stay close to the core for a certain period. That's why they're always evaluated medically, because basically you're destroying your health by working in a nuclear plant or close to a nuclear plant or living close to a nuclear plant, okay? So there's a very interesting, if you have Netflix, again, it's mainstream. I know, I have Netflix. There's some stuff there to see. But you might want to see the short series about the 3 Mile Island in the United States and the accident and all that and how people were affected. And it's basically with nuclear energy, a lot is related to cancer, okay? Which I made an episode on cancer, and I'm a firm believer cancer is an imbalance. It's a reaction of the body to imbalances, basically created by protons and electrons, okay? So the body is trying to cope to create a tumor, creates a tumor to encapsulate the problem and try to throw it out of the body. But again, we go about cancer by saying, you know what, there's a tumor, let's take it out. Sure, but the body has its own process, natural, okay? So I'm not saying if you have cancer, I don't want to belittle it, because I was reached out a few months ago by a person that had stage 4 cancer. And there's very little I can suggest about that. It's an unfortunate state. I know cancer is bad. I'm not saying cancer is good. But the problem is we look for a culprit. We look for someone culpable and we blame cancer when maybe we should blame what created the cancer, which is a reaction of the body. And yes, these type of things, these type of toys by the system, CERN, nuclear plants, cell towers, everything. I could name 15 things. Your own cell phone, your TV, your car, your dishwasher, you know, every electric pole you see out there, you know, where electric lines are, you know, I forgot the name right now, but you know what I mean? All of that is creating protons, okay? So they need to balance out. That's said. That's nature, okay? That's the universe. Protons need to balance out. They cannot go about just being positive. So they steal electrons, which occur organically on living beings and on things such as the sea, such as when there's motion in the universe, motion through love, I think. That's the energy of the universe, by the way. Love is what powers free energy, what makes energy abundant in the universe, the reflection of love. Because you don't need love. You already have all the love that the Father gave you, all the love you're ever going to need. Okay, so when love comes your way, you reflect it back. That's how you service the universe. That's how you service the earth and humanity, okay? So you might say, well, he's mixing, you know, CERN and science with love and God. Yes, all is related, okay? All is related. They do these things on purpose. And CERN is another toy, which I think they are trying to access the higher dimensions artificially. They are not being successful at that. They will never be successful. That you only access organically and yourself. It's your own process of self-discovery, of accessing those higher vibrations. You have your own unique frequency, but you have levels of vibration, and you're going to be uncovering that. And yes, I know this also meshes with the New Age movement, and it has been highly discredited, and I hate it when they use the labels 5D, 9D, 23D, whatever. Those are real, but they misuse them saying, oh, you know what, you need to stop eating meat and alcohol and that. If not, you are never going to go into the 5D. That's not true, okay? That's not true. That's all up to you in your heart, through your heart resonator, through your heart diamond in your chest. Physically, that's the place where your spirit and your flesh connect, okay? Everything is about that. Not about the brain, not about your senses. Everything is about that, okay? So these toys, the CERNs, the nuclear plants, all of these things, I think that they wanna access the dimensions artificially and, of course, benefit from it. Again, we go with the hacking, with the shortcuts. That's breaking the law of balance. Maybe they know they have a lot of karma to clear. They're not going to organically access those higher dimensions. So what they're trying to do is access them artificially. They're never going to be able to do it, okay? The ones they could access, certainly, is create portals to the anti-universe, to the lower dimensions, where, air quotes, demons, it's just a label, confused beings operate, okay? So they have to operate through portals, and you shadow ban there. Sorry, not shadow ban. Why did I say shadow ban? You shadow there. You create a shadow in the lower realms. When you feel rage, violence, hate, lust, all of those emotions, everything that is not love, everything that is negative, you create your little copy out there, your little devil. It's a label, okay, just a label. Watch out. I'm sorry I said devil, but you create that shadow copy of you. It's an awful carbon copy of you because it cannot exist in the universe. I'm convinced right now the only emotion, the only energy that is available here is love. Okay, what we see in this reality is all of these shadows, all of these carbon copies. And as they are disappearing and humanity is tilting towards love, the system is desperate and creating a lot of ways to say no, no, no. It's like we're pulling a rope. Remember the pull the rope game or whatever? Probably it's a very common game. You have it in your country. I know 5-6 people pull the rope on one direction, 5-6 people pull the rope on, and who is ever strongest or whatever and gets tired less or whatever wins the game at the end by pulling the rope. Well, we have a pull the rope game going on, okay? Humanity is pulling towards love. The system is pulling towards hate, fear, envy, lust, and all that. Humanity is pulling toward a negatively charged, full of electrons life. The evildoers are pulling all the way their protons because they want their protons out there, so they suck the electrons out, okay? So I hope it makes sense. I hope you enjoy this very different view of CERN. I was not going to go into technicalities. I don't have the capacity, the knowledge, the books. No way. But I want to give you because at the end, it all makes sense through the way I'm explaining to you, at least to me, okay? So 3 things. I hope it resonates with you. That's excellent. I hope you find it entertaining. That's also excellent. And if this bothers you, if I'm creating, if you are listening to this and it's a problem or that, just stop the video, okay? Just stop the video, and I hope you give me another chance on another video. And if it keeps happening, then don't watch the channel anymore. All right, let's go into the second video. It's a little bit longer, and then I'm going to give you my final thoughts.
On June 16, 2016, CERN, C-E-R-N, the European Organization for Nuclear Research in Geneva, started a project to accelerate charged particles. 10 days later, photographer Christophe Suarez posted a series of photographs of the skies above CERN. Those jaw-dropping photos showed the formation of strange clouds and were proof that the biggest experiment in the world is about to tear a portal into another universe open. Up until now, we've only seen such incidents in the movies. But now, after witnessing it in reality, people are not only concerned, but scared if the scientists have actually found a way to open a portal to another world. What's going to happen next? Are we going to be destroyed or meet ourselves in another dimension? But what really is of everyone's concern is the comeback of CERN. Nobody knows what secrets it holds, and today we're going to try to unravel the hidden truth about the gateway to the parallel universe. The European Organization for Nuclear Research, known by its French acronym CERN, is something that you'll hear about when there's some news about a newly discovered subatomic particle. It is the world's largest particle physics lab, and it has the biggest accelerator in the world, the LHC, or the Large Hadron Collider. The credit for being the biggest goes to its circular tunnel of nearly 17 miles, or 27 kilometers in circumference. The LHC, like all physics experiments, tries to test theoretical predictions and find whether they're flawed. It enables atoms to be smashed together with even greater power at nearly the speed of light, allowing it to recreate conditions comparable to those experienced during the universe's beginning. In 2012, a watershed moment for the LHC was the discovery of the Higgs boson, also known as the God particle. The physicists believe it's going to reveal the secrets of how the universe was created, as well as validate the Big Bang Theory, which describes how an invisible, universe-wide field imparted mass to all things immediately after the bang. The discovery of the particle lends significant support to the standard model of particle physics, or the established rules of particle physics that scientists believe control the fundamental building blocks of matter. Now that they've identified the Higgs boson, scientists at the LHC have set their eyes on an even more elusive target. All around us is dark matter and dark energy. It's the invisible stuff that binds the galaxy together and makes up more than 95% of the universe. But no one has been able to directly detect it. Scientists only know it exists from the effects that it has. Astrophysicist Zhen Liu at the University of Minnesota told the Daily Galaxy in an email that the Higgs boson, a critical component of the Standard Model, could play the role of the portal between the luminous world and the dark world. Theorists believe that there is one type of dark particle that only interacts with the normal matter on rare occasions. Researchers believe that this particle can get caught up in the proton collisions that the LHC is continually making and monitoring. Liu is of the view that we might be able to directly detect the decay or the transitions between distinct states of particles that exists in the dark realm, only if we use quantum mechanical coupling though. Even better, we would be able to directly make dark world particles and identify them using our great control of Higgs boson production at the Large Hadron Collider or in future colliders as well. Recently, a group of scientists announced that they believe they can explain dark matter using a particle that, according to them, can travel to the 5th dimension. Scientists in a research published in the European Physical Journal C claim that the particle can shed light on dark matter. According to the latest research, 5D equations have been created that indicate the ramifications of an extra dimension in our universe and reality as we know it. The researchers looked at fermion masses, which they believe can be transferred into the 5th dimension via portals, resulting in dark matter relics and the fermionic dark matter in the fifth novel dimension. According to the researchers, if this heavy particle exists, it would necessarily connect the visible matter that we know and that we have studied in detail with the constituents of dark matter, assuming the dark matter is composed of fundamental fermions, which live in the extra dimension. Leo also exclaimed, "I cannot imagine how breathtaking the world would be when we master and control luminous matter and dark matter." But for the particle to be discovered, a lot more energy is required than the LHC that discovered the Higgs. To get to the mark, scientists have spent £21 billion. The LHC was shut down in December 2018 to allow for upgrade work to take place.
Okay, so there's not much to add. I just want to say some things on the video. It was interesting for sure. First of all, I totally disagree on their notion that 95% of the universe is dark matter. Dark matter, less related to the carbon copy, the anti-universe. I know how much it is. What I know is the universe is infinite in size. So that's the distance. It's all the time that the universe is going to exist, so it's infinite in time. So that has to make speed just as a relation infinite. Okay, it's just we have to understand, and you can say there's no evidence to this because no scientist is saying this. Just think about it rationally through your brain if you want, not make it go to your heart. That if God is makes such a perfect creation, He had to have such perfect rules. I mean, it doesn't make sense that it takes time or effort to traverse the universe. Just think about it. Okay, that's why I insist UFOs are here only either for our own pleasure. I mean that whoever is coming from those UFOs outside Earth, they need us to see a ship or something so we understand it maybe. Or they are either like the CERN, the Proton Collider. They are creation of the system, or humans or confused humans or something. Okay, so I do think regarding UFO is basically they want to go into anti-gravity, as they call it, and their uses they have for anti-gravity. So they have to experiment on it on the ships so they can fly, they can beat gravity, and that's why you see them sometimes. You think it's a UFO, you think it's from another galaxy or whatever. Maybe that's your notion, I don't know, but you're basically saying it's some similar thing to see on an airplane. It's just very different. The proportional system is not Newtonian. It's not doesn't use the laws of the Newtonian physics. It's actually something very, very different that is beating gravity. I did an episode on anti-gravity. If you want to look at it, basically using work from Rich Planet in the UK. He's excellent stuff. If you're into technical, scientific stuff, Richard D. Hall from the UK, richplanet.net, is excellent. Okay, shout out to him. So finally, we have here this, this is the area that the CERN covers. Only being once close to this area, I'm very sensitive to energy. As I said, I have a high impedance, I have a high resistance to it. So it was not fun. It was not fun to me. I just was passing through, driving, and it was not fun. I had a rough time, and I was very happy to leave the area. I was just passing close to it, okay? So I couldn't imagine for people living there. Again, I go back to my example. It's like maybe living close to a nuclear plant, working a nuclear plant. Maybe you don't feel it because if you don't have the impedance, the resistance, you are not feeling as the electrons are leaving your body. You feel fine, actually. You have energy, you feel fine. But then what happens, the difference between someone like me and someone like you, if that's your case, is that I constantly feel the electrons leave my body. And I try to replenish them. It's just like an intuition. But if you feel fine, perfect, physically fine, then what's going to happen when you're really low on electrons? That's when disease goes in, and unfortunately, things like cancer and vascular events and stuff like that, and you suddenly start feeling, even if there's no real disease, you start feeling really weak, much worse than I feel, and it affects your balance. For me, basically, when I feel my electrons are leaving my body, when I'm subjected to EMF or stuff like that, when I'm, for example, in traffic, I feel weak, I feel dizzy, I feel like, if you're really tired, like you want to go to sleep, all of those are reactions from my body, okay? So if you live close to CERN and you're believing what I'm saying, try to move, okay? I know it's very easy to say, very difficult to do, but try to move. If you work there, or you work in a nuclear plant, in a power plant even, try to get another job, stuff like that. But you decide, everything is through your own free will. Maybe there's nothing to it, and I'm wrong. I'm certainly always have to be, it's in a disclaimer, and I want to clarify, I'm always open to being completely wrong, okay? Because I think really the concept of absolute truth is extremely difficult. So from the video, I wanted to tell another thing. So I mentioned that I don't think 90% is the anti-universe. And basically what they're saying between white matter and black matter, This is the real universe and the anti-universe. That's the way I see it. And they claim they want to access, very important thing, the fifth dimension, okay? They're not going to make it. Okay, that I'm completely true. They're not going to make it artificially. The fifth dimension you access on your own as you go through your different levels of vibration, okay? So it's like, I don't believe CERN is artificial, and I don't abide by the New Age movement that claims you have to follow certain techniques of meditation, of therapies and eating, and you have basically to become a monk, and then you are going to access the fifth dimension. No, I don't agree, okay? Again, if it resonates with you, that's perfect. If this is entertaining, that's beautiful. If this bothers you, don't watch it, because I don't want to bother anyone, okay? I put all the effort I can on these videos, and in this case, someone asked me to do this episode, and I'm sure there are gonna some of you saying, why you don't keep with the, with the chats and, and the positivity messages. This is also positive, okay? This is also positive. It's just a different spin on something interesting that, it doesn't matter they created a CERN, they're not gonna access the higher dimensions, okay? They're firewall, okay? Nothing happens like that artificially. They have been keeping us oppressed artificially for a long time. And I think the universe is fed up. Of course, it has to respect the law of non-interference. It has to respect the law of balance. And again, there are no victims. There are no victims here. Because what about us? What about fixing this mess by ourselves? We can. And we were always in power. We were always in control through thousands of years. But we were always playing the blame game and the victim game. Okay? You know what? They want to destroy Catholics or whatever, or Christians, okay? You're playing the victim game. Or it's the Jews, you're playing the blame game, okay? So there are no victims, there's no one to blame. We, humanity, are going to fix this. The moment humanity realizes everything is about just vibrating in love, we're all going to go to the fifth dimension, okay? You don't have to worry about the New Age stuff and that. And the fifth dimension, no evildoers, okay? Maybe this thought just came to my mind. Maybe they're building the CERN because they want to follow us to the fifth dimension, like saying, no, we need you, because they need us. All the power the evildoers have, we give them to them. Through this energy harvesting process, this mutating your love. You are a being that should vibrate in love always. And when you're vibrating hate, fear, envy, violence, justice through violence, all the emotions I say at the end, then you're playing for them. They win, you lose, okay? That's how I feel. So I hope you enjoy it. Please stay for the last 3 minutes of the show. And if everything is okay, I shall be back on Monday. And please have a great weekend with family and friends. Enjoy every second. Every second. Just be in peace. Be with yourself. Be socially with your family and friends. Enjoy them. Enjoy you. Enjoy this life. Please, I know it's difficult, but enjoy every second. Be in the present. The past is the past. The future is the future. The future is an opportunity. The past is done. How about we enjoy the present? All right. Take care. Please stay for the last 3 minutes. We want you on the show. Send me an email to hey@humanityways.net to schedule an interview. Help me out by making the show more interesting, fun, and knowledgeable by having you on and giving our viewers the opportunity to learn from you. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover yourself. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and guidance. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover yourself? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to yourself and the universe. Request to be connected and ask, who am I? Where do I come from? You will start getting signs, breadcrumbs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about those realities start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering yourself equals to breaking your matrix. Your self-imposed limits will fall, and you will be ready to serve humanity and help break this spell and deception on us. But you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will start a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, loss, envy, violence, justice through violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions serve only the evildoers and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Please relax and enjoy life. When everyone breaks their own matrix, humanity through our community consciousness will break the final spell. The new world will start and everything will gradually fall. Governments, hierarchies, and the medical and financial system will go from scarcity to abundance for all. Thank you very much for watching. Please share this episode. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you would like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@humanitywins.net. Please be sure to check out our friends from Waking the Future and their awaken-attire.com shop. They gave me my first opportunity to speak about this and I will be forever grateful. Link to their channel and shop on the show notes. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.humanitywins.net. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very nice day.